Yes, there really, really was an animated series. It was made in 1973 and lasted 2 seasons. It featured mostly original cast of characters from the original series, minus Chekhov, but he wrote and directed his own, which technically makes him the first Star Trek cast member to direct anything Star Trek related. Not that we're watching the episode he made, but it's a funny anecdote, and where was I? Kind of lost my train of thought. Anyway, it's animation, so is it any good?
Hey guys, that wrestling guy here, and we just watched an episode of Star Trek the Animated Series. Up until actually, you know what? Up until about 10 years ago, I didn't know this actually existed. I'd never actually seen one. You have to remember, Star Trek the original series ran in the 60s, which was a good 35 years before I was even born. This ran in the 70s, which, as you recall, is still a good 25 years before I was born. So I didn't see this stuff live, and by the time I was old enough to comprehend Star Trek as an entity that I wanted to follow, it was out of the public eye. No one ever really talked about it. I mean, I've watched interviews with the Star Trek cast, and they never mention it. Not even Chekhov, and he directed an episode. So, anyway, we watched an episode. It's not that good. It's stupid. It's cheesy. It's just silly, and most of the actors really do not sound like they care at all. We watched an episode called Beyond the Furthest Star, and from the first season, and it's just not very good. I mean, the acting on Star Trek is cheesy anyway, but this just takes it to a whole new level. I actually found out that a lot of the actors for this recorded their audios separately, which would make me understand why everyone doesn't sound like they're having the same conversation, because they're not. So, yeah, it's not that good. I mean, if you want to watch it, go ahead, but I mean, you're really wasting your time if you do. I didn't enjoy it. I'm going to pass it off to otakun, see what he thinks.
Okay, so the animated series. It sucks. There really isn't that much to say about it. I don't understand why they decided that they were going to add a whole bunch of alien races that weren't humanoid. That was something that I noticed was Star Trek had a lot of, humanoid alien races, which was one of its main draws to me. I've honestly, I loved those when I was a kid. I thought that the fact that they were mostly humanoid was great because it was, well, for one thing, let's be honest, it made it easier for people to make costumes for. But at the same time, it allowed it to be a little bit more realistic, in my opinion, unlike Star Wars, where alien races were just so varied and confusing. Well, it could be argued either way. This was definitely an odd show. Like, for some reason, they're standing on some huge amoebus thing. And again, all I can think about while I was watching this was Robot Chicken and stuff like that. Things that have already been making fun of Star Trek. And I think this is a perfect example of, like, what they were making fun of. So, thank you for listening to this short and pointless review.